Will Monkey the Dragon eat a devil fruit in God Valley? In the latest chapter of the manga, we saw that Dragon saved Kuma. At the moment when a celestial dragon attempted to shoot Kuma, Dragon quickly shot his tranquilizer. The result of this was that the celestial dragon who was about to kill Kuma fell asleep. Speaking of saving, aside from Kuma, it was also shown that Dragon saved Shanks and Shamrock. Dragon wondered because, in spite of the many chaos happening around, still, these two kids were not crying. So here we will realize that truly inborn is the possession of Conqueror's Haki. Yes, guys, I believe that if Shanks has Conqueror's Haki, then most likely his twin Shamrock also possesses Conqueror's Haki. Anyway, if we think about it, these two saved by Dragon in God Valley, Kuma and Shanks, will somewhat repay this favor in the following years, because we already know how Shanks saved Dragon's son at the beginning of this story. During the Sabayoti Archipelago arc, the other one saved by Dragon, Kuma, also saved his son from the hands of Admiral Kizaru. A full circle moment indeed on the part of Dragon. That's just one of the things we will talk about in this video. And yes, this is now our analysis video for the latest chapter of the manga, chapter 1160. And to begin this topic, let's move right away to the first happening of this chapter. In the first scene, the Davy family was shown. Gorosei Saturn confirmed that what Garling mentioned that he discovered in God Valley was in fact this Davy clan. Noticeable in the Davy family was the similarity of some of them to the body of a buccaneer, big torsos and small legs. Actually, it wasn't confirmed in this chapter that truly all members of the Davy family are buccaneers. This is contrary to the information that came out in the spoilers. Perhaps we could say that only some of the Davy family have buccaneer blood, since that is evident in some of their members. In the next panel, the death of LaShunks' mother was shown. Same with Dragon's attempt to help here. Many are saying that Seiya wanted to see Admiral Akainu in the God Valley incident, since, yes, after all, he is the same age as Dragon. That's why it makes sense to also see Akainu. But I will cut your excitement, because as per Vivre Card, Akainu only joined the Marines at age 23. Meaning, although they are of the same age, Dragon and Akainu joined the Marines in different years. Dragon became a Marine member earlier. Speaking of Dragon, this scene where he knocked down a celestial dragon is funny, because it's exactly the same as his son Luffy. If you remember, before the time skip and at the age of only 17, Luffy already punched a celestial dragon. It's amusing that Oda placed this part, so we can realize the parallel of father and son. Same with Dragon's noticing of Ivankov's announcement. I think this moment is what opened Dragon's eyes. He could not believe Ivankov that there was still hope, even though the T knew that the chance was very high that they would die on this island. I said this could possibly be what opened Dragon's eyes, because his group, the Revolutionary Army, is now doing the same thing to weak countries. They give them hope to fight against the world government for the sake of freedom. In the next panel, we then saw the hunting tournament begin. With no mercy, the celestial dragons one by one killed the slaves, as well as the civilians of God Valley. Their view of these people was like rabbits whose lives for them were useless. I think that because of these panels, we will become even more enraged with these celestial dragons. Let's base the perspective on Dragon. He almost vomited from the corpses he saw. And as easy as it was for the celestial dragons to kill, so were they cowardly to die. The arrival of the Rocks pirates and Roger pirates in God Valley was the signal of their confusion. They almost breathed in fear when they learned that pirates docked in God Valley. This scene of Roger, although it looked like Oda hindered the character of Roger because we saw him trip, I think it was only a comedic approach Oda wanted in that panel. Sort of similar to Luffy, where in serious situations we also get a comedic approach from him. On the part of the arrival of the Rocks pirates, here is where I was more impressed with the character of Sebek. Why? Because instead of announcing to his pirate crew that the priority was his wife and child, he didn't do this. Instead, he announced what he thought his pirate crew wanted: treasures, legendary devil fruits, and of course, saving Shaki. In Sebek's perspective, his wife and child were his cargo. That's why he himself would save them. This is impressive, because we can say he really had confidence to fight anyone Although his companions were very strong, he did not take advantage of them for his personal benefit. Very opposite of Buggy. Anyway, speaking of the Rock's pirates, Struzen mentioned that Wang Zi did not come with them. In fact, he was just left in Hachinosu. As I already mentioned in our recent videos, we expected Wang Zi's not joining, since it was revealed that he himself kidnapped Shaki and handed her over to the world government, meaning once Shaki saw him in God Valley, surely she would point him out as the kidnapper, and this could possibly cause an attack on Wang Zi by his fellow members of the Rock's pirates. In the last part of this chapter, we saw the arrival of the Marines. Garp's entrance was incredible. He threw a cannonball that caught the attention of Roger and Sebek. Interesting indeed what will happen next in this moment, because as stated, it is said that Roger and Garp teamed up to defeat Rock's Sebek. It will make us wonder now if this is really what happened, because we know that Roger and Sebek had the same goal, which was to save Shaki. That's why it's curious to know why, at some point, Roger chose to side with Garp. Was this really what happened, or is there something else that has not yet been revealed? Anyway, that is our analysis for the latest chapter of the manga, chapter 1160. So that's all. Peace.